My name is Dr. Tessitore, and today I'm going to tell you about how I got into the field of audiology. So I started my college career at Penn State doing undergraduate work in psychology. I did that because I just liked to see how people behaved and why people did what they did. My senior year, I ended up having all of my electives left, and I ended up taking sign language classes. Now, I had been exposed to sign language whenever I was in elementary school. My mother taught me finger spelling, and so the two of us would communicate back and forth, signing words to each other, and I really liked that. So when I took sign language classes at Penn State, I enjoyed that a lot. I ended up being in a club, we had silent dinners, and I just really liked that. When I finished my tenure at Penn State, I had gotten accepted into the school psychology program for the PhD work at Penn State, and I decided to turn it down because I wasn't sure that's the road I wanted to take. So I took a year off from school, and during that time, I volunteered at the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf. I ended up volunteering in an after-school program, and I got to teach kids and play, after-school games with kids. I also worked there at a center on deafness, which is for people outside of high school who wanted to learn career skills like writing resumes and interviewing. In that program, I really honed my sign language skills. I met people my age, I started hanging out with them, and that's when I knew that I wanted my career to somehow involve sign language. So after thinking about it, I applied to some deaf education programs and ended up at the University of Pittsburgh. Pitt was one of the few schools that offered deaf education in Pennsylvania, so that's how I got there. And it ended up that my first class was an undergraduate level audiology course. Now, I didn't want to take that class. I didn't know what audiology was. It was an undergraduate class and I was a grad student, but I ended up going and I fell in love with that class. That weekend, I went out of state for it was Labor Day, and I had homework in my deaf education classes. I didn't have any homework in my audiology class, but I ended up taking my audiology textbook and just reading it because I was intrigued with the subject. I started volunteering at the Children's Hospital, and that's when I fell in love with audiology. I knew that I wanted to work in the healthcare profession, and I also wanted to use sign language, which I knew I could in this field. And that's how I got to where I am. So I'm really excited to make my new home in North Carolina and get to know people and really work here at Now Hear This. I look forward to meeting you.